Hello, everybody. My name is Jim Farmer. I'm the festival director of Out on Film, Atlanta's LGBTQ film festival. This is our 37th year, and we have some amazing films this year. I'm so happy I'm so happy for our lineup and have audiences see these amazing films. One of our favorites this year is Perfect Endings. I'm going to read a brief description of the film, and then we're going to talk to the director, Daniel Ribeiro. Perfect Endings. After a decade long relationship ends, filmmaker João finds himself at a crossroads in both his personal and professional life. While trying to break into the film industry, he ends up directing amateur erotic films. With the support of loyal friends, João embarks on a dating journey, navigating modern romance and finding inspiration. This is a film all of our programmers like so much. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thanks, Jim.
It's nice talking to you. I'm so excited because we've never actually met. This is the first time we've had a conversation, and you'll actually be in Atlanta for the screening on Monday, September 30th at 8:15 at the Midtown Arts Cinema. So I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to screen the film, and it's always good to be in touch with the audiences when we have a
Exactly.
screening because we spend so much time making the movie, and then
Yeah.
like to finally see the audience reacting to the film is always a great experience.
Exactly. Well, just tell me a little bit about why you wanted to make this film.
This is a bit of a personal film. I ended a 10-year relationship
Hmm.
in 2016, and I went through I think this experience that I think most gay men goes through, uh, ending or not ending a relationship, but going through the apps and meeting people, and and especially when I started my relationship, there was no Grinder or Hornet or
Hmm.
Scruff or anything. So when I ended my relationship, it was like getting into this new world, and a world that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know how to navigate this world, but that it already existed for a long time. So
Yeah.
it was this crazy thing. So it was sort of inspired in that period of my life when you go a little bit crazy, trying to understand the feelings, both the feelings of the relationship that ended and all these new adventures that you're going through and that you're not really sure how to do it.
How closely do you identify Joelle with the main character? How closely do y'all identify?
Very closely. I didn't do the amateur porn, but but the friends and the experience, the making films, he's a filmmaker, so it's there's a lot of experiences that I went through, not only in that period in my life. I mean, I got, I brought experiences from my other relationships, and I mean, for experience from relationship experiences that I've had all my life, and I sort of mixed it on into this film. So it's got a lot of me in it.
I want to read a quote that I found on the internet earlier today. Um, Perfect Endings is about facing the end of a 10-year relationship with all the pain, but also all the excitement that comes with it. And I think all audiences can relate to that moment in life where you have to rewrite your own story. Can you sort of talk about that?
Yeah, because I mean, and being a filmmaker and being a screenwriter, you're always I mean, I think that's the way I go through life. It's like looking at experiences, looking at stories, and seeing uh, how can I make not only my stories, but like things that I see in life
Hmm.
from friends and family. And then you always have that antenna of like, how does this make a good movie? Is this a good story? So I mean, I think that's the way my brain works naturally. And when you break up, there's so many things happening that everything is sort of an inspiration. The dates you go on, the new experiences you have. So everything's sort of and the emotions and I think there's a lot of emotions at the same time. You're happy and you're sad and you're frustrated and you're excited because there's so many new things, and then you miss your old life in a way. And so I think that's a very the after a breakup, it's a period with so many emotions that we go through, that I think it's a lot of great material for a film, for a script.
Yeah. Joelle, as he starts to pick up the pieces and take charge of his own destiny. Um, there are moments when he sort of intermingles scenes from his dating life into his own screenwriting, sort of kind of blurring the line between the two. Can you sort of talk about how you went about capturing that in the film?
Yeah, because I think that like when the character sort of goes crazy, I guess, he's like trying to. So I think he's the character. He ends this relationship, and it's all very well. He's not. I mean, it's a good breakup. He's friends with his ex, so everything seems fine for him. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the problem that he goes through. He thinks everything's fine, but then he has to deal with the fact that even though were really great, I mean, it's not. It's never really fine to end a relationship. You have to. There's so
Yeah.
many things and so many feelings that you have to go through, and so I think it's a little bit about that.
What I liked about this film so much is that it captures just the perfect tones. I mean, obviously, when there's the breakup and afterwards there's the confusion and the uncertainty, and then trying to get back on track personally, professionally. There's comedy in the movie, there's drama in the movie, and yeah, there's some very erotic moments as well in this movie. Can you talk about that balance?
Yeah, there was something that some people said about the way he looks. My first film, that was like it was very sweet, but there was no sexuality. Although there were some not sexual, maybe
Yeah.
sexy moments, I guess, because there was the scene in the shower, there was the masturbation scene, so there was the sexuality being portrayed there. But and they kiss at the end of the movie, so it's not they they don't have a relationship for us to explore the
Yeah.
sexual side of it. But a lot of people talked about that, how sweet the movie was, but that it didn't go through that. So I had that in mind. And I think when I was making this movie, I wanted to be more sexual. I wanted to bring the sexuality and the sexual aspect uh of especially this part of this experience when you're breaking up. I mean, you're having sex with people you don't know, and then it's a and then you go to in date. So it's everything's the sex is very present in this
Hmm.
moment in a person's life. So that had to be in the movie. But at the same time, and I don't want to spoil too much. I'm just thinking about things that I can say so I don't spoil
Mm.
the movie. But it is also about trying to have sex because there's like the beginning of the movie. His friend says, "Oh, you cannot like the first sex after a breakup, it's always bad." So I think
Mhm.
his friends get into his mind. So he's got that into his mind. So he's always, uh, I mean, trying to think with whom is gonna be his first experience, sort of knowing and being scared that it's going to be a bad experience. So I think he goes through that, like uh, trying to navigate that fear that his friend put in his head.
This film is still, you're still pretty much in the early stages of getting this film out there. If I'm correct, the film premiered at Frameline this year.
Yeah.
It premiered at Frameline, and then you've been doing some festivals. Then obviously you have a lot of festivals coming up around this time. But what's it like to finally get this out and see it with a crowd? And I know you've been working on this for, but what's it like to get it out there and travel across the world and share this with audiences?
It's great, and especially because it is well, when I was making this, I thought it was a comedy. I mean, I wanted to make a comedy too,
Mm.
sort of a romantic comedy in a way, or a romantic dramedy, I guess, because there's the drama too. But when you make a comedy, people have to laugh. So I think that was the scariest part of making this movie, like showing to audiences to see if people were going to react like that. And then we had a good experiences. I think people laughed, and some people cried. I think it's also emotional.
Yeah.
After I made this movie, I met a lot of people who ended long-term relationships. So it was like everyone's like, "Oh, you made a movie about my life." I said, "Yeah." There's a lot of people in that stage, so it's really good because people uh, they can relate to that, and I think it's a movie that it's not. I think it tries to balance that his experience. Like he's excited, so there's a lot of comedy. There's a lot of like his friends are really. funny characters,
Hmm.
and they bring this humor to the movie, but there's also this loneliness that he goes through, and I think that's also it's there in the movie, and I think I and I watching with audiences, I think there's a balance that it worked. So it's really excited to see, and I hope people will find the comedy in it.
Exactly. Did you had such a international sensation with the way he looks. Did you think that it would take, you know, 10 years for your next feature film?
No, but I think it's sort of something that happened in Brazil. I think Brazil went through this crisis in the past 10 years.
Hmm.
It was when we had the impeachment of the president, like
Yep.
2016. I was going to make a movie which wasn't this one, it's a movie that I shot this year. So next year I'll probably have, I mean, we're getting it, I'm editing now, we're in post-production. So we're going to have next year another movie. I was going to make that movie in 2016 and everything stopped. So, I mean, for 10 years, sort of, I think my career sort of stopped as Brazil also stopped. And and then I think it came back. I was able to make this movie when things were sort of getting back to normality here in Brazil. And so I think that was the problem because there was, I mean, I had projects that were going to happen before, and I think it's, I mean, you have to accept things, and I think the movie in a way, the character goes through that. He's going to make his movie,
Yeah.
and then he gets the news that he's not going to make the movie. So I think it's also like what I went through also is also there in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the way he looks, I mean, you know, it's still so many people, in the film festival industry, especially programmers in the LGBTQIA community that has such a special place in their hearts. I mean, can you talk about that film and just, how it changed your life and, why people still talk and remember that film so fondly?
Yeah, I mean, it was completely unexpected because it
Mhm.
was a simple coming of age movie, and which I thought was very common. I didn't think it was going to be uh so special as it was. Although
Mhm.
now looking back, it is a story about a blind teenager and finding love and finding discovering himself, and I think now I can relate how special that is. But when I was making the movie, I thought it was just it seemed simpler. I didn't realize it was going to be uh, that it wouldn't communicate to so many people around the world. I mean, in Brazil, it's a big movie too. It's like and especially 10 years, then it's on Netflix and it's all the streaming. So many people watched it all over
Mhm.
over these 10 years. So it's and especially being an LGBTQ movie, uh, it's so special to have that, to have a film that, uh, in theory, it was going to be a movie for a gay audience, and then it's a movie that everybody connects to, and I think
Yeah.
it's so. I mean, it's. I'm very happy that, and the movie that's still there's still, especially because there are still many gay kids being born and then finding this movie. I get messages still today, like from people who are discovering the movie now because they were 10 or they were even, I mean, even younger when the movie came out. So they discovered the movie now, and it's still a special movie to so many people.
That's great. Congratulations. Um, Final question. So, what is next for you? You mentioned just a few months ago you're working on a film that you'd started, but what's next for you? Other than that, perhaps, and what's next for Perfect Endings?
Uh, yeah, there's this movie that we're finishing, so so I'm excited. I think and it's a movie with transgender characters and 100% transgender cast,
Hmm.
which is really excited with, and it's like the whole everyone who's on screen, like backstage and and the background, everybody is they're trans characters, not trans actors. Not all of them are trans characters. So it's really a really exciting movie that we're working on, and I think it's I don't know, it's like we're editing, so it's really that stage where like we're trying to figure out how the movie's going to be. But I think it's going to be an exciting film, and it's an important film also. You know, having a 100% transgender cast is really, I don't know if it's ever been done before, like
Mhm.
in a feature film.
Yeah.
But so we're excited about that. And in Perfect Endings, doing the North America festivals right now, and I think we're going to release the movie in the second trimester next year. So it's gonna go to theaters. I think probably a small release, but it's gonna be released there.
That's great. Congratulations. I'm so happy for your success. And I'm so happy that we're not only going to get to show this film, but have you there as well. All right. The movie is Perfect Endings, playing Monday, September 30th at 8:15 at the Midtown Arts Cinema. The director is Daniel Ribeiro, and he will actually be at this screening. And I look forward to having you there and having you interact with our patrons as well. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Very excited and see you soon.
Thanks so much.
Bye bye, Jim.